Guys, welcome back to the channel for another action figure review. This time it is the ultimate Grandpa Munster from one of the best and one of my favorite shows, the Munsters. The artwork right up front says it all. That is Grandpa, no doubt about it. On the side of the box, you got that very mischievous and joyful smile and laugh from Grandpa Munster. Right here on the back, you could see the different head sculpts that's going to come with our ultimate Grandpa. Again, very mischievous, very, very classic from the 60s, the Munsters. And on the other side, another great shot of Grandpa Munster. So I just showed you guys the box real quick. If you guys need it, there's the barcode. Let's open them up, just like all NECA Ultimate action figures are, and see if we could get the glare out of the way. There he is, Grandpa Munster. A little shot of the inside there. After getting this, I am definitely gonna have to go rewatch some Munsters because no secret, we do have a Herman on the way. Very excited for that. Pull this out of the box, guys. A little cardboard picture of, I'm guessing probably on the set of the Munsters. Before I start pulling any of the ties off, I'll just go ahead and stand it there. See if you could go ahead and see some of the different things Grandpa Munster comes with. There's the shovel. There's some flask and some vials there for creating, I guess you could say, his love potion. I think that's a little cigar. 2 extra head sculpts up here, the hands, and I am almost positive, and I do have some of the other NECA vampires that we will compare some of the body and of course the color schemes with other Draculas and vampires that we have with NECA. Just like every toy line, they're going to try to get the best and most out of their molds. And just maybe a year ago, we had the Rob Zombie Grandpa and the Munster and the Lily come out. So I'm pretty sure this is the same and just different and updated head sculpts for Grandpa Munster that we all know of from the 60s TV show. I'm going to go ahead and pull him out and let's see and get a little bit closer look. There he is, guys, right in the trunk. Al Lewis, Grandpa Munster, coming to life right here in our toy trunk. I cannot believe we got him. One of my favorite TV shows, if I haven't mentioned it already. I think this is probably the first real fully articulated action figure for the Munsters TV series. I know Super 7 Reaction had the 3 3/4 ones, and then when you look back in the late 60s, I think Mego maybe did some, and I think Remco. There was one line though that I'm thinking about tracking down just to see if I could find it. I think it was the K-Row View vintage. They were like 3 to 4 inch Munsters figures, and I think they were like PVC. I think those are they're very rare. So outside of the 3 to 4 inch PVC figures and some of the plushes or dolls, this is, and of course Rob Zombie's iteration of the Munsters. This, to my knowledge, is the first fully articulated action figure from the Munsters, and I'm glad that we finally got it. So here's Al Lewis as Grandpa. We're going to go ahead and set him aside and look at his accessories real quick. Let's look at the hand accessories. Comes with 2 fists, a left and a right. Then it comes with a left and right kind of grasping hands, and then it comes with one kind of reaching hand, or oh no, that's not a reaching hand, that's where he's holding his cigar. So since we're speaking of cigars, let's go ahead and see. There's a cigar, and there you go. I do not promote any type of cigar smoking, but Grandpa does. Here is the stand. I guess you could put this over the Bunsen burner for the potions. First one we'll look at, there's the green potion. The other one is a red potion. Looks like a Hawaiian punch almost, or maybe blood. I don't know. He is a vampire, but it does have that real deep red look to it. And then the #1 potion that everybody should have in their room, their collection, is a little love potion. Comes with a shovel. I think this is a little bit different than the shovel that he had in the Rob Zombie Grandpa Munster accessories. But there's a shovel. First head sculpt. I love this one. I don't know what, I might get 3 just to display all of the head sculpts of Grandpa. Look at that. You've got the painted tongue. You can see his tongue. The real high cheekbone smile. Closing the eyes because he's just filled with laughter. He's got his sideburns there. Nice dark head sculpt. And look at that part. Look at that part. That's a part to, for those of you guys with hair, because you know I don't have hair. That is something to shoot for right there. Look at that. So that's one of the head sculpts. Look at that one. I don't know if he's mad, angry, the mischievous look. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And again, the show primarily was in black and white, but when they did color, this was that hue or color that Grandpa had. Very cool. And there he is, Al Lewis as Grandpa. That is the actor come to life in a NECA Ultimate action figure. One other accessory that was taped to the back of the packaging was his cape. Now his cape, and I have the other Grandpa Munster next to me, is a little bit different than the one that it came with the Rob Zombie version. This one has more of a sheen to it, almost like a plasticky look, and it has the red type of nylon on the inside. So this has a very high gloss. I don't know if that is a, I guess, homage to the original costume that Al Lewis maybe had worn, because I'm going to show you here in a second with the recent one, it looks more like of a rayon look to it. So this has a sheen or a shine to it. And you can see that right there. That probably ports into the back neck part of Grandpa. Before I put his cape on, let's go ahead and look at Grandpa, a little bit closer look. First, some real quick articulation. Here we are with Grandpa and articulation, just like most NECA figures. He could do a Exorcist 360 all the way. Got a left to the right, up. You can look down just a touch. Most NECA figures aren't traditionally set up to be highly articulated and dynamic posed, but with this guy you could get him in some pretty decent poses. So let's see, without any heat, let's see if we can not break anything. So there's his arm, and now of course not scratching too much paint. And his coat has that plasticky rubber coat and that hard plastic right here for the jacket part or the sleeves. Comes out to about there, and then his elbow, like most NECA figures, come to at least a 90. That's good. And it does swivel right here at the elbow. And again, I'm not going to do too much. Don't want to get it too loose and scratch up any paint. His hands that he comes with, there's his open hand with the glove on. Let's go to the left side. Same type of hand gesture, I guess you could say. His coat is the tux with the tails. No details there, all black. No paint back here. When it comes to the pants, he's got that big NECA diaper style pants with a lot of the Draculas that we've got in the past have the same type. On the side of the pants, you can see that nice trim that some tux pants come with. All the way down to the shoes. On right there, let's see what his articulation is. Not too far up. Let's see the Van Damme. A little bit less than 90, a little bit more than 45, I guess you could say. The knee swivels at the knee right here. And the knee can go up. Oh, look at that. Knee can go up to about 90. Pretty good. Now, when it comes to the shoes or the actual foot articulation, sometimes we have issues with the pants or any type of design with the costume right in here. But it looks like we can get the rotation at the ankle. And let's see how much toe forward. You can get some toe forward and some calf stretch in there. So again, with NECA, you don't want to do too much because they can get loose. And then that's when the action figure stands really come into play. So that's just one of the legs. The other leg will be just the same. Let's look at his vest. Got his vest. I like his nice little metal, bright red metal right there painted. No paint on the bow tie. I don't know if that bow tie should be a different color. I'm thinking it is white. We'll compare with other Draculas and other vampires. There we are, Grandpa Munster. All right, let me see if I can put his cape on and pop a different head on so you guys could see it, maybe even some different hands. Here we go with Grandpa. We got the cape on. He looks really great with his cape on. It's got that nice red underneath. But I also have him holding, that's right, some love potion. And he is smoking one of his infamous cigars there with that jolly. I mean, that face right there, that is Al Lewis coming to life, just like the other head sculpts. Let's go ahead and pull some other NECA figures side by side with Grandpa so you guys can see the size difference, and of course maybe some of the other similarities and differences with some other vampires that we've received from NECA. And here we have the Rob Zombie Grandpa. I'm sorry, I don't know the actor's name, and you can see the difference in the hue of the blue. A little bit more darker blue. This one's a lot lighter, very like sky blue, and this is almost like an ocean blue when you start looking at the different shades as you go down to it. But the actual reuse of the sculpt and everything looks for the most part the same. I think his vest is a little bit darker than Grandpa Munster's over here, and like I mentioned earlier, the cape. This one still has that type of rayon nylon look to it, where Grandpa's almost has that plasticky look, but it's not the plastic material that some other action figures will get, like maybe like the McFarlane capes or anything like that. It looks really good. I did mention that we have the actual Fred Gwynn Munster coming in, but for now, Herman Munster from the most recent Rob Zombie movie right there. As I was pulling him out, I did have a review on him, so if you want, go check that out. And then of course, I don't know, I did one on this Grandpa, but there you go, they got those two. I didn't pick up the Lily, I was like, you know what? I think the actual Munsters from the actual TV show, they're actually gonna get the characters out there. So can't wait to get a Lily along with Herman and Grandpa. I'm still gonna keep these, I think they look great, but definitely wanna give that big authentic look to the original Munsters cast, and hopefully we could get more, you know, who knows. So waiting on Hermie and Lily, and you never know, we can get an Eddie and maybe even a car. I don't know, NECA, put out a Dracula, put out the Munsters coach. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Then we got Grandpa Munster holding his I'm gonna think it's blood. I don't know, guys, it's either Hawaiian Punch or blood. Let's get the Christopher Lee Dracula next to him, size comparison, and the one and only, the original Bela Lugosi right there. And you can see the similarities with Grandpa Munster, Bela Lugosi, and Christopher Lee. But when it comes to a little bit of the reuse as far as design from the classic Dracula look, a little bit more design here on on Bela Lugosi's, and I'm only guessing, and again, just guessing, that maybe the TV show was like plain white, and where Bela Lugosi's was a little bit more design to it, a little bit more weathered, because that's what it looks like. I don't know if it's coming through on the screen, but this is like a pure white. You can see some weathering right there, to include his hands and his face. So we got some Dracula, some vampires in the house. Actually, you know what? Let's add some more. Push these guys back a little bit more. Push him out. We'll bring in Rob Zombie's Grandpa. And I'm not done with NECA. We got our Shredder as Dracula right over there for size comparison. And the one and only, the Count. We'll put him over here. NECA putting out a lot of awesome Dracula and vampire figures. Every single one of them, paint, head sculpt, phenomenal. But again, even though we got the original Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee, there's just something about Grandpa Munster. My opinion. Leave it in the comments. What do you guys think? Which one is your favorite? Last minute comparisons with other lines outside of NECA. We got the new McFarlane Zatanna, and she's more of the 7-inch scale, kind of like our Ultimates, so there she is. Also, let's pull in some Marvel Legends figures. Here's an actual Blade who searches and hunts vampires. Obviously a lot shorter because this is more of a 6-inch scale. Over to the left, you got John Bernthal. A lot shorter than our NECA and McFarlane figures, but put those in there just so you guys can see the comparison between the traditional 1/12 scale and the little bit taller, a little bit bigger scale with traditionally 7-inch figures in Grandpa and the NECA Ultimate figures. Guys, I think that's going to be it for our review of Grandpa Munster, brought to you by NECA. Cannot wait for Herman to come out. And just like that, as I'm editing this video, this comes through again with the wife ordering Grandpa and then going back to back with ordering Herman. Thank you so much. Here's the exterior. This is not the review. This is just a teaser. Just a teaser. Look at that, guys. Fred Gwynn in action figure form by NECA. Oh, I can't wait to open this up. Actually, you know what? And I'm kidding. Stay tuned for more. Hopefully they have a Lily. Yes, we need an Eddie. Any Marilyn will do, one of the two. Come on, NECA. Give us some Munsters. Give us the Dracula too. Even the Munsters coach. I don't know. I might just leave it like this. He looks better in this than Batman. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe, bell for notifications so you know when we drop the review on Herman. Coming very soon. Always enjoy the ride, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.